Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Solano College Sports Network for a brand new edition of On Campus here in the Solano studios. My name is Cameron Anderson, here with Alex and Jaeden, all members of the Solano College broadcasting class. So today's episode, we're going to be talking a little bit about how the class has been this semester. Alex, is your second semester in the class. I'll start out with you. How did you find out about the sports broadcasting class?
So I found out about it through my TV class. I'm a film major here at Solano, so I had a TV class here in the studio, and I've been doing stuff in the studio for years, like even in the old studio. And yeah, Poff came by at one of the earlier classes and was saying that he had a sports broadcast program, so yeah, I joined up from there.
What about you, Jaeden?
I actually took Pop's public speaking class at one point in my first semester, and he just said I was a really great speaker, and I could be really good in front of the camera, of course. So I just decided to take the class.
What were some of your guys' first impressions on that first day when you came into the studio and saw everything?
Well, I've been in the studio for a while, so I'm pretty used to the setting. My first impression of the games, personally, were just that they were a little boring. Just sports really isn't my thing, like filmmaking is. So I was all about being with the cameras and in the studio and stuff, but like actually sitting and watching a game just wasn't really my cup of tea, per se.
I'd say in my first day it was a little overwhelming because at first you don't expect a junior college to have like this amazing studio. You don't really expect that on your first day, but I really enjoyed my time here. I think that's really great, and I'm having fun right now.
What were some of your initial thoughts on your first broadcast? Alex touched on that. What about you, Jaeden?
My first broadcast was a basketball game, and just being on the court, just being able to like flip the shots, I guess you could say, that was just, I think that was really cool. Of course, I enjoy it. I'm still here, so.
Right. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. It's a great experience. It's still a lot of fun. Yeah.
How would you compare this class in terms of compare it to other college courses you've taken before? Obviously, Jaeden, this is your second semester here in college, so not a whole lot of college courses, but you've taken some already.
Yeah.
How would you compare this to maybe another in-person class you've been a part of?
I would compare this. This is, I guess you could say, almost a job because you're actually going out. You're going out to the games. You're doing this for other people, essentially.
Right.
And this could essentially lead to a career. You're working with $1,000 equipment. That's totally different from a classroom setting.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely hit the nail on the head. Where, I mean, you're going out to different places. You're actually like creating something tangible and being a part of a team, as opposed to just kind of like sitting in a class supposed to like learn a stuff and then like regurgitate it in an assignment.
Right.
You're actually kind of doing hands-on fieldwork stuff here, which for me was like super helpful because a lot of my other film and TV classes are more classroom oriented. This was definitely the most like hands-on experience oriented, where almost every day we're showing up and actually shooting something.
Right.
So, yeah, really good.
Would you describe this class as more student-led? You think it's more of like a student-led kind of program? It's pretty free, and also, I mean, the fact there's no homework. This might be the only class you maybe have been a part of without homework.
Most definitely. I mean, Poff is like the biggest help in organizing everything and setting everything up and putting everything together. But like we have a lot of creative control as far as like what we're shooting at or like what we want to talk about in like a lot of the studio broadcasts and such. So yeah, I'd say it's a most like about half and half. But yeah, it's a pretty student-led class, I'd say.
I would have to agree with Alex. A lot of it on the cameras and broadcasts, you only hear students speaking. So I think I would have to agree it's very student-led.
So now that this semester is coming to a conclusion, Alex, is your second semester. Are either of you guys interested in retaking this class in the fall?
Most definitely. I will most definitely be here, especially since a lot of the sophomores here, like yourself, won't be here. So I got to take that big step up and be in front of the camera more.
Yeah, get on the mic.
There we go.
Yeah, I'm graduating after this semester, so I'm not really going to be taking too many Solano classes, but I'll probably just register for this one in the fall just to keep doing it and get more experience under my belt. I'll be around, so yeah, most likely.
What were some of your guys' favorite moments from this semester? Whether it's a studio show, a certain game that we broadcasted, or maybe just hanging around in class. What were some of the highlights of this semester in your opinion?
I feel like some of my favorite experiences in this class was probably just being in the classroom setting, or just being like in little rooms, just talking with all of you guys, just like collaborating and talking. I feel like that was just some of the most funnest times we had, and especially just being out on the baseball games and just seeing how we all work together. I feel like that's some of the best time I have had.
Yeah, I mean, I'd agree. I'd say hanging out like on our downtime is definitely probably the most fun thing we do. Personally, I look forward to like setting up and breaking down the camera and the equipment and stuff, just because you get to learn more about it. That's like my field and stuff. But yeah, like definitely just hanging out's probably the most fun thing. If you're into like sports and like you get really into the games, I'm sure those are a big draw and like memorable experience too. Like there were a handful of home runs that we filmed this semester. Those were pretty cool. Yeah. So yeah.
And Alex, you talked about it, not a big sports fan, and I think there is sort of, obviously when you look at the class, it's sports broadcasting.
Right.
So can you maybe talk a little bit about how, if someone's maybe a little intimidated, they're not a huge fan of sports, and they're like, well, I don't really want to broadcast sports. I don't like sports. They're boring. I've never been into them. Can you speak a little bit about how it's not as maybe intimidating when it comes to the sports broadcasting part of the class?
Right. I mean, you really don't have to know a whole lot about sports. Like they'll tell me over the mic or over the earpieces, like, oh, point the camera at second base, and like I know what second base is.
Right.
And there are a couple times where they'll, like back when we did football, where it got a little confusing, like film the quarterback, and I'm like, oh crap, it's the quarterback.
Right.
But I mean, it's really not that intimidating, and it's a great experience, especially just because even if you're not in sports, you see it on TV all the time, like everywhere, and it's a great experience to be behind the team that puts all that together, and just to see what it's like and like how much work actually goes into broadcasting a sports game. So yeah, it's a tiny bit intimidating. It can be a little boring at times, but you learn a lot, and there's a lot to take away from it, and it's still a lot of fun at the end of the day still. So yeah.
What would you say, Jaeden, to someone who's maybe on the fence about taking the class?
I would say just go for it, because this is, I would say, one in a lifetime experience, and it could potentially lead to a job, lead to a career. So why not go for it?
Same thing from you, Alex. Obviously, you kind of just hit it.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, it is a once in a lifetime experience. Like I said, it's something you see on TV every day, and not everyone gets a chance to work on something like that. So yeah, it's a big opportunity that you should at least try. And if you don't like it, you can say you tried it. So yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, gentlemen, for taking the time today. Alex,
thank you.
Jaeden, I'm Cameron Anderson here on Campus here on the Solano College Sports Network. Thank you guys for all watching, and we will catch you next time here on the Solano College Sports Network.